engine scream and roar. Northwest Truck Series is kicking down the door. Arca rigs are flying, dusting up the pines. Sasquatch in the stands, sipping moonshine. Feel the tires burn, hear the crowd ignite. iRacing's finest, day or night. From the Rockies to the coastal line, LSRTV's where the legends shine. Oh, Northwest Racing, let the good times roll. These race covers got rebellious souls. Crank it up loud, hear the engine scream. And LSRTV is bringing you the stream. Yeah, yeah, Northwest Racing reigns supreme. 3 wide in the corner, inches revving high. A southern tradition beat the northwest sky. Checkered flags are waving, hearts beat like a drum. Sasquatch roars for every single roar. Feel the tires burn, hear the crowd ignite. iRacing's finest, day or night. From the Rockies to the coastal line, LSRTV's where the legends shine. Oh, Northwest Racing, let the good times roll. These race covers got rebellious souls. Crank it up loud, hear the engine scream. And LSRTV is bringing you the stream. Yeah, yeah, Northwest Racing reigns supreme. Guitars are slinging, tracks taking a groove. Northwest boys got nothing to prove. Grabbing gears and rubbing doors. Northwest racers always bringing more. Oh, Northwest Racing, let the good times roll. These race covers got rebellious souls. Crank it up loud, hear the engine scream. And LSRTV is bringing you the stream. Yeah, yeah, Northwest Racing reigns supreme. Watch Northwest Racing with Charles, Wesley, and Jeremy on LSRTV. And maybe Bigfoot too.
Hi, welcome to Day Motorsports. Come on, check out what we got.
Thank you for keeping Day Motorsports in business for over 50 years.
What really sets On-Demand Shirts apart from everybody else is our people. Our people really care about every job that comes through here and they treat it as their own. That paired with state-of-the-art equipment that we use on everything that we touch, that's really what ends up providing the top-notch quality that you guys come to expect. Because we've printed stuff from anywhere from a small boutique shop all the way to Fortune 500 companies, we have experience that goes all across every industry you can think of. From a very small job to 200,000 plus shirt job, we can handle it. Your brand is more than just a logo, it's an identity. At On Demand Shirts, we create professional apparel that makes a statement. From uniforms to corporate gifts, your brand is in good hands. Contact us today so we can help elevate your company.
Hey, it's Wesley Outland, the voice of the Northwest Racing iRacing series on LSRTV and proudly again on the Community Radio Network. As always, we're excited for another season of the best iRacing Pacific drivers of the Northwest putting on a show that you all enjoy every Monday night. Join us also on LSRTV or listen on the Community Radio Network at wearecrn.com. The power of radio to the imagination of the listener, iRacing style, CRN LSRTV for the Northwest Racing Series. We welcome you to coverage of the Northwest Racing Series. The trucks in season number 12 coming down to the end. We welcome you to virtual Atlanta. Old school Atlanta Motor Speedway, not the super speedway version, the abrasive track, the one that's tough on tires. A lot of drivers like this place. It is the site of race number 2 in the round of 12. Welcome to our coverage. I am Wesley Outland. Mr. Jeremy Stanley alongside. Charles Wooten punching the buttons. And Jeremy, the season is winding down, my friend. We're ready for the final 3 races of the season. That race number 2 in the round of 8. I think I said round of 12. My apologies. The round of 8 starts tonight at Atlanta. Last week at Iowa, Christopher White punched his ticket into the Championship 4 finale at Chicagoland. Will we see another playoff driver or another regular unknown breakthrough in victory lane tonight, buddy? Good evening.
Good evening. And that's a great question there. No repeat winners so far this entire season, so that's kind of cool to see. Christopher White picked up his second win last week, and now we're at bumpy Atlanta, if you will, the old school track there everyone used to love before they repaved it. And you might see someone newer picking up a win, maybe possibly at least running good, just because the track's so different and so bumpy compared to everything else they run on. So and it's playoff season, so mentalities are up, high alert, trying to get maximum points and get themselves locked in to Chicagoland November 3rd.
So we know that Christopher White has punched his ticket into the Championship 4. Obviously, he won the opening race in the round of 8 last week at Iowa, as I mentioned. But you've got other drivers like Dennis Moore, Devin West, even defending champion Dan West Jr. He's in the number 7 hole right now. But if any of those guys can break through, even Jeff Stabnow in the number 8 position in the standings, if they're able to win this race, you know, you can literally see yourself go into the final to run for the title. But I'll tell you what, Christopher White is the only guy right now that's got the ace in the hole, because if something happens to him tonight or he has bad luck in the next 2 races, this evening at Atlanta, next week at Indianapolis, before the break for the finale at Chicagoland, he knows that he's going to be running for a championship.
Yep, he knows. So he gets that sigh of relief, take this week and next week off, theoretically, and just enjoy it. Have a couple good races, prepare for Chicago, because that'll be a fun, challenging place to pick up a championship. And the points, even though we're only 1 race in, we're spaced all the way up almost 20 points out. I think 16 is the gap between 2nd place and 8th place. All the guys that are still in contention there. Dennis Moore's P2 right now with that 16-point lead over Jeff Stabnow, who resides in P8, who needs to pick up the ball here. He's had a very hit or miss season, and I know Jeff can do it but he's got 2 races to either get a win or figure it out, because he's a little bit behind now. He's already 7 points behind the guy right in front of him in 7th. So Jeff Stabenow, look out for him. I think he's going to have a stellar round of 8.
Let's take a look at the race on information for tonight here, bottom left of your monitor, as it'll pop up on the screen. Thanks again, as always, to Race On. Watch live or replays for the race information here tonight on LSRTV and CRN. If you're listening on the radio, no fast repair, 100% fuel capacity for these drivers. They have 4 sets of tires, 1 set that they're qualifying on, plus 3 sets left in the pit area. Qualifying is 2 laps, which is about to come to an end. And this race is 200 miles, 134 laps, 67 laps is the halfway mark. And again, they'll run those distance twice. Chance of overtime if need be, 3 attempts if that has happened. And obviously that is the way the race information goes down. Weather conditions right here, presented by Kaufman Creative, and a beautiful day in virtual Atlanta right now, Jeremy.
Great day. The track's a little hotter than I expected. We've seen some fall temps kind of match the air temp, but not in Atlanta. Nope. We got 20-degree variance there and some high winds over 10 or double digits, 10, 11 mile an hour. I saw the wind gust kick up there at 1:57 p.m. Eastern time in the session. And it's
Just
only going to get hotter. Yeah, it's going to get a little bit hotter. Around 2 o'clock is typically the hottest time of the day. So I don't think anything's going to get cooled off when these trucks start driving around this place. It's going to heat it up even more. We might even see triple digits on track temp if you kind of monitor that here or from time to time. But yeah, that should make things a little more exciting for us to watch tonight.
I'll tell you what, if you're one of these other drivers, not Christopher White, what do you have to do to, have a good race here tonight at Atlanta? What is it going to take tonight to try to put yourself into the championship 4 to join CW in the month of November, Jeremy?
Tire conservation and survival. You don't race the drivers around you race the track. And then once that's figured out, and then you can go ahead and battle the drivers from time to time. But you can run the middle to upper groove. It works great. It's a cheese grater out there. So the number one thing starting this race off, feel the truck out and tire conserve. That'll be the story tonight.
There you go. Well, it looks like qualifying is just about ready to come to a close, and it's looking like right now that Josh Childress has been able to set the fast time, 29:9:34. And if there is any other takers to qualify, they better make a lap, and they better do it quickly, because it looks like we got a couple of guys that have not took time yet, in Scott Hutchinson and Dana Rogers, or they're just going to elect to tag in the back, because the clock is down to under a minute remaining here in the qualifying session. And obviously 29:93, 29:96. I mean, he's 0.3 quicker than even Tyler King on the outside of the front row. That's actually getting around here pretty fast here at Atlanta, especially the old abrasive Atlanta.
100%. And times are not going to last long. The fall off is like 2+ seconds over a 45-50 lap run.
Right.
So that's why you just gotta, if you see someone bust out a qualifying time on lap 3, they're in trouble 30 laps later. So might get a little spaced out. You're going to see the high side used right against the white line used. You're going to see everything in between. And even off turn 4, when you get to the tri-oval, quad oval, if you will, there, it's actually kind of easy to have tire spin midway through the quad oval section where it's flat and you have no grip in the rear tire after running here for quite a few laps. So it just makes this place very interesting, very unique. Even though it's technically a cookie cutter, it's still a very unique place regardless.
Well, qualifying has concluded, and we're ready to rack them up here at Atlanta for tonight's race in the round of 8. Let's introduce the starting lineup on the pole. Fast man, 29:9:34 is again Josh Childress. To the outside of him, the 21, former truck champion Tyler King. Row number 2, we'll find Kevin Smith for Win Racing and Paul Newton on the outside in 27. Row 3, defending champion Dan West Jr., multi-time champion And, of course, the man that's been really strong this year as well, that's Dennis Moore in the 44. Row 4 tonight will find Devin West. Dennis Moore, Devin West, right alongside each other again. And Christopher White, we know he's going to Chicagoland for the finale in 3 weeks. He'll start in the 8th position. Corey Eckelbarger and Sean Wrightsman Jeremy make up row 5 in the top 10.
And then row 6 through 9, Frank Harris in the 77 to the outside, triple threes, James Vining. P13 in row 7, Brett Johnson, outside in 14th place, the 99, Troy Daggett. Row 8, Jeff Stabnow in truck 24, 16th place to his outside, 89 of John Ottenbacher. And the last row, Scott Hutchison, the 91, in the caboose of the field tonight, the 07 of Dana Rogers.
There you go. So there's the lineup. As again, Dana Rogers and Scott Hutchinson have decided to start at the rear. They didn't qualify. The field is rolling. One preliminary lap before we get ready to turn them loose here. What were you saying, Charles? I got you. I'm understanding that Dana Rogers did attempt to make 4 qualifying laps, but they just weren't clean laps. Either he crashed or something happened. I will tell you, when I got here earlier in the server watching things this evening, it did look like Dana Rogers was really struggling. He crashed 2 or 3 times on the back straightaway and other places. And he'll start in the rear, so got plenty of time. 200 miles, 134 laps the distance, and ready to see what these guys will do here. Coming from a short track last week at Iowa to now preparing for tonight at the 1.5 miles at abrasive Atlanta, old school Atlanta, not Echo Park Speedway, Super Speedway track Atlanta, as is today. And then, of course, next week, the final race in the round of 8 at Indianapolis. Who is going to be joining Christopher White at Chicagoland? Another chapter to decide that happens right now. Field is in the Geico starter's box. Green flag in the air. We're racing round of 8, round 2 here in Atlanta.
Here we go. It's going to be a good, fun start to watch here off of turn 2. 21, Tyler King, you would think he'd have the momentum, but nope. The inside lane working on these fresh set of tires for the next couple of laps. Giving it hell here on the bottom as Tyler's going to run the middle of the track, not the top. I think I see some marbles built up. I do. I got the very edge of that outside wall. So that might tell me that the outside might not be touched for a little bit. Someone's going to go over and sweep it clean. 21 takes the lead, sole possession, single file, top 3. You see Childress now moves to the middle groove. Tyler King runs to the bottom. Paul Newton also look at, oh, big loose, big moment. Good save there by the 39.
There's the man that set time on the pole. Dirt tracks it there off that second turn just a moment. What a save as he works his way now through 3 and 4. Up against the safer barrier. Opens the door on the bottom to Paul Newton. Newton will get by. He'll kiss chops and go to the number 2 spot. And Newton now sets his sights on King. Here comes now Childress way up high with Smith now looking low with friends in 2.
Tire pressures are almost at optimal pressures and temps right now, as the top 3 still have spacing over 4th on back. That's Kevin Smith in W0 in 4th place. There's the 44. Dennis Moore, P2 in the points right now, looking to get himself locked in on points or with a W here this evening in Atlanta. Lap number 4 underway here. You see the 73. He's moving up high. High entry mid exit there with the 99 as well, Daggett. So single file all the way through the back stretch on lap 4. Going back to the race lead. Look at the man that's really loose. He's still trucking pretty fast right here. Utilizing that 3rd lane. He's to the back bump of the 21.
Yeah, what a strong run right there for him as he works his way again up on the high side. Childress up high. Going to go after now King on the bottom for that spot. That's 2nd and 3rd. correction for the lead. Remember, Childress got really loose on the opening laps, and look at that, the 39 getting around King. He's the new leader again, Josh Childress.
Look at that, really loose on lap 1 and then lap 6. Look at it. He's got a really good amount of speed here as he scrapes the outside wall. Wall glue, don't do that. That's how you're going to ruin a fast truck. Taylor King back to the inside. No, we got a no caution.
Trouble.
3-truck wreck and no caution. Ottenbacher, Jeff Stabnow, who is in a fantastic round of 8. That truck looks like now, Wesley, he's in a do-or-die situation. Has to win next week.
And no caution either. Badly damaged Jeff Stabnow's truck is. John Ottenbacher. And maybe John, man.
Oh, man. Whoa.
I can't tell what happened. It looked like James Vining checked up to miss what was going on in front of him, and that's where Stabnow got collected. Watch this again here. We watch it on the back straightaway.
I think there's a 4th truck involved because there's a stoppage there on the back half of the quad oval. And they all just went down to avoid it.
Is that Eckelbarger, Troy Daggett?
We'll find out.
Yeah, there it is.
Eckelbarger. Yeah.
Yeah, look at that. Wow.
Did you see the amount of space between the two trucks and they're still impact registered?
Stabnow plows into Eckelbarger, and then Ottenbacher plows into the back of the other truck there on the bottom. Man.
That's insane. The amount of space of the coat of the nets. There's like a whole truck length of space there, and still just got destroyed. Yeah, that's going to end. There's no way that truck's recovering. Stabnow back, Eckelbarger in the back. John Ottenbacher has a lot of recovery to do. And I'm really surprised.
Remember, no fast repair in this series either. We got to remember that also. So
no fast repair. How is there not a caution? The wreck happened on the racing surface. I have no idea, man.
Eckelbarger gets slammed into in the back by Jeff Stabnow, Mr. 500. By the way, career start 495 tonight for Jeff Stabnow in the Northwest Racing Series leagues. He gets then on the bottom of the racetrack amongst all that, James Vining and John Ottenbacher trying to check up to miss what's happening between Eckelbarger and Stabnow. And Ottenbacher plows the back end of James Vining, shades of what Stabnow did to Eckelbarger up on the racetrack, as you mentioned. No caution, though.
19's in the keep it off the wall. He does. Good job of lifting and keeping the grip on the right front tire there. The 19 gets a good shot off the corner exit as well, as they were trying to go 3 wide for a little bit there in turn 1 and turn 2. They go back to 2 wide and then eventually single file half a lap later as they complete their lap number 10. Here's side by side Troy Daggett, Frank Harris sitting back here for 10th and 11th place. Outside continuing to show some strength here. Daggett gets really tight, gonna push, contact. Almost wrecked it.
Wow. Daggett and Harris about got tangled with one another there. Now that goes on. Childress up in front. He leads the way. Besides winning an all-star race on the Charlotte Legends Quarter Mile, that's all Josh Childress has done this year. Right now, leading the charge. He played races this year. Hasn't broke through into victory lane.
Did you see Childress there just slam the wall for turn 2 once more? He's got a really fast truck, but he keeps trying to destroy the right side of the thing, clean off of it. Goes right back into the tire marbles. Here comes Tyler King once more. It's a great effort for a lead change at the line. It's basically tied. I think Childress might have slightly had him over that one. And goes back to the top again. Is he going to hit the ball? Yeah, he's just trying to wreck the thing there. Okay, and he's still got speed too.
Look at Childress up on the high side. Look at Tyler King returning the favor now back on the bottom. Put it back on the front spot. There goes the Catman. James Vining of the Mopar 333s. He is back on pit road. He's got service being done. Remember, He's the one that had John Audenbacher hit the back of his truck on the front straightaway.
Yeah, he was really slow there on that pit road right before getting to a stall as well. So that's not looking good for the 333 with a black flag as well. Look at this cluster of trucks. Looks like we just started the race, but we're 16 laps in now. And they have restacked them back up 2 wide, multiple lanes deep. Looks like the 00's running the middle. Dennis, one of them maybe go 3 wide momentarily. He's going to run the outside up in the higher marbles. And also, Childress again just continuing to pound the outside wall each and every single lap. Paul Newton's going to clear, get himself into P2.
Newton on the bottom, got Childress up high. Here comes down Devin West. Watch the red 5. Getting into the mix. So does Smith in the green 00 up high. We're door to door. All this going on for third on back, third through 5th, 6th position. As now Moore wants to get into the battle as well as they all start to make one big wad of traffic down the back stretch. 8 trucks fighting for that spot in turn 3.
Yeah, this is insane. Tyler King is out and about doing his own thing. We're going 3 wide for second place. Devin West cuts the grass just a touch with his left front tire. Still holds 3 wide. Dangerous move here through Atlanta. Childress is going to find the tire marbles. Gets loose. Does he hit the wall again? No, he doesn't, but he saves it. But look how many positions he just lost. He went from, what, 4th to back to 8th or 9th. 3 wide contacts. Dan West Jr. in the middle. Checks up big time. Christopher White does the same thing. They go back 2 wide. Number 27 trying to hang on to his 3rd place over Devin West.
Devin West down on the inside. Paul Newton will follow. There's Kevin Smith right there. Reeling them in. It's Troy Daggett's on pit road in 99.
These are not scheduled, too. The 99 was... Oh, there he goes.
Oh,
he finally wrecked it. No caution.
Will this trigger a caution? No.
iRacing stewards are not. They're eating ice cream sandwiches on pit road. Not throwing cautions. LSRTV replay. We're going to see what happened. More hitting the wall. Just Josh in turn 1 and turn 2. Not friends. His night's going to go from good to bad and then now to worse as he's going to hit the inside wall with a decent amount of speed. That's probably going to ruin the 39's night.
Wow.
2 wrecks, Wes. No cautions.
Yes, sir.
That's kind of wild.
That's now
Just really surprised. Still green flag. 2 clear A-wrecks that happened on the racing surface. I know they had a little bit of a moment getting the session up there with some staggered times. Hopefully some settings weren't toggled and we do get the yellow flags eventually, because I thought that was warranted, but we're hanging on here though. Turn 3, turn 4. This time going to complete lap 21. Tyler King out there by a half a second over the 5 of Devin West now, who's starting to gap himself. And the 27 Newton. No, Kevin Smith drives it right onto the left rear. Paul Newton going to try to take the air off his spoiler. Pushed him up the track a little bit. Can't make the pass happen.
Wow, how interesting is that? Look at now. This is Dennis Moore on the inside. A Twin Racing going after Paul Newton. That's 3rd, 4th, and 5th on the racetrack. There's Dan West Jr. right there behind him as well. All this going on now back to turn number 1 and 2. Back straightaway. Remember, this is old Atlanta. This is abrasive tire Atlanta. And well, we saw some frantic racing earlier that looked like they might have been super speedway up today. This is just a fun place. I know this place, a lot of people really, you know, I know from a lot of people in the real racing world, Jeremy will tell me they wish that Atlanta had not been changed or repaved or turn into a super speedway atmosphere because there's differences of opinion, but a lot of people, a lot of drivers really like this racing surface. They like this type of track.
I want to make it clear they had to repave. The surface was, I was at this track in 2012. In 2012, I thought, how in the hell are they driving on the surface? It looked like an old beat-up parking lot that had been paved 30 years prior. And they ran it, what, 6, 7 years after that, even longer. So it had to be redone, right? And then so, you know, SMI, they get creative sometimes. And now they have iRacing, like we're watching right now, to bounce off ideas. You can test stuff virtually before paving it, which has never been a tool before in the history of anything. So to be able to come up with something creative, it's cool. We learned from it. Texas was a flop. This track, I kind of preferred or like the new and old, so I have no difference. Regardless, it's still a fun place.
We're glad that you're joining us, watching wherever you are from Atlanta. Of course, this is the second race number 2 in the round of 8. Christopher White. By the way, let's talk about Christopher White right now. There he is. You just saw a glimpse of him behind Paul Newton in the 8th position. Just comfortably sitting back there, and he ain't really got to do anything, Jeremy. He knows he's going to Chicagoland to race for a championship. If there's anybody that could roll the dice or gamble or try to do some off-the-wall things for strategy, it is 19 of White.
It is the 19, absolutely. Practice different lanes. He can practice some skill set. Maybe he's afraid to do in the middle of the season. Is, oh man, Paul Newton. This man, remember, he was fighting for 2nd and 3rd place. You saw how loose he was. There's a 3 wide right in front of him. Dan West Jr. back in the middle. Hit Dennis Moore bottom. Ottenbach was involved in that early wreck on the outside here. Truck 89 is technically not full position. Should be a lap down here. There he is. I think SDK doesn't show him a lap down. There's that. They're back to 2 wide. Dan West does clear the 89. You see the damage on the 89's right front. You can see the front tire exposed a little bit, taking some of that aerodynamicness away from that machine. And Dennis back on the attack here. But yeah, 19 can just try whatever he wants, man. Do what you got to do. This track, you can kind of compare it to Chicagoland as far as like the bumpiness goes. Yeah. So you can tune in your setup to the bumps. That might be something to.
And ironically, it is a mile and a half. It's a mile and a half intermediate race.
And it has
live here in Atlanta.
Yeah, and it has great outside momentum too. So a lot of similarities realistically. So it might be a great track to practice. Don't worry about the win or anything. Just practice. Learn something.
You're exactly right. Something to definitely consider. Right now, heading already into lap number 30 laps into the thing. As Devin West up in front. Obviously, we know Devin West. We know the season he's had. ARCA Northwest champion. Already won that title. Devin West, 6 wins this year, tied with Dennis Moore, the most of anybody. Dennis Moore, Devin West, both with 6 wins. But furthermore, right, I mean, here's the deal. I think he's been so good this year, Jeremy, that he could advance in by points. But he could win tonight. He wins tonight. He's going to race, joining Christopher White for the championship at Chicagoland. And he could possibly be a guy that could try to win both season titles. He's done it for ARCA, and right now he's trying to strategically do what he needs to do. We're closing in on 100 laps to go here at Atlanta to try to put himself in the position to win this race here in the early going.
Yeah, and he's got all the showings for it. We're into that longer run portion of the race, and he's got a half a second lead over second place. So I'm never really questioning the 44, the 005. It's actually going to be really tough here. 07's pretty slow. He was slow on the apron all the way through. Don't see immediate damage to that truck. Looks like maybe a replay clip. And is he just going to drive off the track? Interesting. Yep. That's it. That's interesting. No engine smoke. So he's just coasting underneath his own power. In parks at early, lap 33. I don't know what's going on with the 07, but yeah, like, it's only just a few drivers in my mind that's going to be a toss-up for that final playoff transfer to get to the final race in Chicago. It's just, you got to see how tonight plays out. This is the variable for me.
Everybody just diving back into turn number 3, heading off forward, coming back down to start and finish. Under 100 laps to go. There's Kevin Smith now making a move on the 21 of Tyler King. By the way, we're just about 50, we're over 50 miles into this race. Should have had 2 yellow flags, as Jeremy and I mentioned when things started, but it did not trigger the yellow flag. And so far, it has been all green since the drop of the starter's flag here. Lap number 35, lap 36 now with 134. And there you see second and third a moment ago. Now we see Dennis Moore in 6th, but he's way mired up in traffic on the outside lane out of turn 2, Jeremy. Wow.
Yeah, still, I'm surprised how close these battles are happening 37 laps in here. They're all in the same boat, just trying to hang on. Get a little pass if you can here or there. And I'm kind of surprised too. I know when you're on the outside you need more tires, but eventually the truck just wants to go up there. You see Dennis doing it. That's his preferred lane. But he's also running back in 6th place. We typically don't see that on lap 38 or lap 39. You see him up there in the top 3, top 4, dancing around, but he's searching a little bit on that outside. Most of these other trucks are on the bottom. I expected more on the top or middle, but a little bit of a different situation. You're not with that temp probably being closer to 100 degrees. I'm sure that's playing a factor in how the trucks are handling.
Good solid run right there for that one. Looking now, Sean Brightsman right there in the mix between Moore and his teammate Dan West Jr.
I might go 3 wide again. Does 44 Dennis Moore go to the middle? No, he's going to push the 55. Past Sean Brightsman again. He's going to sweep to the inside. Dennis now going to run the middle this time as well. Changing his pace up a little bit from his previous lines. Let's see if this pays off for him. Yes, it does. Great push. Oh, too strong of a push. He's going to send the 55 Dan West into the grass. And a little 2-for-1 action. Dennis Moore is going to pass not only the 55 with that run, but then the 46, at least temporarily. Sean gets loose. There you go. They go back single file, but you see they'll run it. The 44 got off the middle, and look, he's going to do it again. He's noticed how much speed he had off turn 4. Let's see if it carries this time around.
Yeah, we're still seeing, obviously, Devin West lead this thing. Look at this great battles going on behind him. There's Dennis Moore, Brightsman again for 4th and 5th. And single file on the back straightaway. heading towards 40 laps completed in this one. Atlanta, who is joining Christopher White for the championship 4, as right now coming up on lap 42. Devin West, strong truck, leads the way, but now we're starting to see some of the Win Racing drivers, Jeremy, start to make a climb, with Kevin Smith up to second and Dennis Moore, the Pied Piper, right now. A lot of us say the driver that they've battled back and forth all year, it seems, has been Weston Moore. Moore's now getting into the fight for the top 5. And don't count out Sean Breitzman in the Blizzard 46. He's another one of those guys you can never count out.
Yeah, no, he's always lurking, right? Always running top 5. Usually has a pretty good run. Truck's wicked loose. He's hanging on to that 5th place right now. He's got fast Christopher White right behind him here still. I think the 19's creeping up just a little bit slowly. His lap times look a little more compared. Oh, Dennis, is that a spin or a pit road entrance? I think that was a pit road entrance. Dennis Moore, he's on pit road. Hopefully made it in on speed, because that truck looked a little out of shape there, transitioning from the baking to the apron.
Yeah, pit stops, and that's just the start of it, right? I mean, we're going to start to see green flag pit stops here happen. Dennis Moore, wow, it's quiet. Listen to that. Here comes now Moore. Tyler King onto the pit lane. Here comes Paul Newton on pit road. So green flag pit stops perfectly happening here around lap number 50 at lap 45 here, Jeremy.
Yeah, there it is. So if you break that down, that's 45, 90, 135, and there's 134 laps. So they're breaking this thing exactly into thirds. That's what it looks like. So 2 pit stops if it stays green the entire way, and then we'll wrap the thing up. Here comes Kevin Smith. Going to forego his position on track to find the service of his virtual crew, get them tires, fuel tank filled up, and send it back out. I'm always curious on this kind of race, who's going to be the biggest winners and losers after they all cycle through. As these lines are kind of playing with us, Wes. Like, he's on top of the line, but he's still getting serviced by the crew. Old Atlanta was fun back in the day.
You know, and my question is, how far can you stretch it, right? I mean, we're seeing guys come down pit road. Okay, White's in. Christopher White's on pit road. Johnson's on pit road. Harris is on pit road. Rogers, again, still on pit road. Look at this, by the way. Childress, Daggett, Hutchinson, Stabnow, Vining, Eckelbarger, all out in the opening 50 laps of this race. Unbelievable, Jeremy. Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot. We saw the wreck with 3 or 4 trucks. That took out a decent amount. But then Childress, I thought maybe he would have recovered, but he decided to park it. And then Scott Hutchinson, no idea why the 91's out. That one I don't think we even saw on camera, to be honest, but he's out of the race. So that's a crazy amount there. We got 12 active drivers right now. And let's wait till they cycle through, because they're all showing basically 1 lap down, because Devin West is doing that huge stretch with Breitzman. But I think there's, 9 or 10 possibly going to be on the lead lap after everything's all said and done here on the pit sequence.
Yeah, something like that. Understanding right now, Sean Breitzman coming down to the pit lane, 50 laps on his stint, and Devin West obviously pitted. So now it looks like everybody has cycled in for one time to pit, except Sean Breitzman. Now, he was the last truck to do that, and it was 50 laps before he pitted, Jeremy. So there you go. So that's stretching it for what? All the way to lap 100 and then you can go about 35 laps to the finish of the race.
He's actually got a decent lead here as they all cycle through. The guy that was leading is not up front. That was the 5, Devin West. Almost 5 seconds back after this initial cycle. Kevin Smith, one of the biggest winners. He came down a couple laps after the sequence started. He's still hanging on in second place in the 00. So that's a huge win on this first pit stop. Tyler King's, he ranked pretty equal there, I would say. Dennis Moore, though, big leader out of it. Came down a little early, yes, but he picked up 6 positions and is currently leading this race, and he's getting the playoff point.
Leaders work all 4 coming back to the line. There is Newton. And White still on the lead lap. Right now sitting in the 5th and 6th position on the racetrack. Oh, and by the way, these green flag pit stops, Jeremy, you know this. All they've done is just stretch out this interval of everybody being around the racetrack now. We'll pause for those listening on CRN for station identification.
This is the Community Radio Network, WCRN, 87.9 FM, Clayton, Connor, Smithfield, North Carolina. Proud to be in the USA. We are CRN.
So glad you're joining us. Welcome back to our coverage as we are heading towards lap number 60 at the halfway point of the race. And right now, it is Dennis Moore leading this stint after a green flag pit stop. Welcome back to our coverage at the Old School Abrasive Tires Track, Atlanta. Along with Jeremy Stanley, Charles Wooten on production, I am Wesley Outland. The Northwest Racing Series playoffs, season 12. This is the round of 8, race 2.
We got 56 laps now in here. Dennis Moore's quickly falling back right before that top of the hour. Dennis Moore was 1.2 seconds out. Now he's 0.7. It's a half a second gone already in just 2 or 3 laps for the 44. So eventually, this thing will cycle through as either Tyler King or Kevin Smith leading this race. By the time they get there, it should be Kevin Smith based on lap times at the moment. Lap 57 now currently underway as we're getting closer and closer to the halfway mark in this race, which is coming up here in the next 10 laps.
I don't think there's any type of anything happening out there right now. Pretty much Devin West and Christopher White might right now be battling. That is for 4th and 5th. That's battle.
It's a good little battle right here, I would say, between the 5 and the 19. Christopher White in the top 5 finally. Slowly crawling through the field, +3 overall, started 8th place. Now he's looking to pass the guy who was leading this race on the long run before the first round of green flag stops. Christopher White taking a look to the outside, going to commit this time. Nose above the 5 on corner entry. A little loose, good drive down the white line. Can't get the truck to stick though, as the 5's going to outdo the 19 on corner exit.
Now remember, Christopher White has got the opportunity to obviously, as we said, Jeremy, do different strategy or do different things in the race that maybe other people wouldn't do because he already won. He won last week at Iowa. Devin West, strong truck number 5, led earlier. Now, what do you know? The man that he's been racing with all year in the championships battle. It is, of course, Dennis Moore up in front now.
Barely, just barely. He's getting it past right about now, or if not, the next set of corners. 4400 attack by Kevin Smith, as Tyler King is actually released. 0-0 momentarily. And Kevin Smith looks like he's going to actually lose 2 tenths trying to get around. Here's Paul Newton battling the 55 of Dan West Jr. Speaking of good battles, this is for 6th and 7th place up for grabs. Going to be side by side up the line. Paul's going to have the preferred lane into turn 1. See if he can hold on to this on exit. The 55 gets tight. Paul's going to get a great launch off the corner. And nose to nose getting to turn 3. And as this is going on, there's still a battle as well for the race lead. So a couple battles actually starting to develop through the entirety of this track here.
Dan West Jr. with Paul Newton right there for 6th and 7th spot on the racetrack.
Etch a sketch there. As Paul thought maybe he was going to hit the outside wall. Does not. Checks up. Dan West going to continue to run this position at the moment. 6th place. Back to him. Does Paul get back to the outside? Going to run right up in the marbles. But no, not enough there, but enough for a crossover and some side draft. This will bring him nose to nose at the 55. Get a little pressure, maybe some contact. Close action here in turn 3 and 4. As they close out their lap 64. Paul with a great effort. Does he get there this time? The answer is no. Dan West hanging on for dear life for the 6th place.
Yeah, what an amazing spot. Hey, by the way, we are closing in on halfway as well. Closing in on 100 miles completed. Let's take a look so far at the race analysis for this event so far down below, presented by Virginia811.com, reminding you to call before you dig it. There it is, 9 lead changes. A lot of that happened during the cycling of green flag pit stops. No cautions, no caution laps, and right now, battle for the lead between Win Racing, Dennis Moore, Kevin Smith, West in that LSRTV sandwich in the middle as they work into 3 and 4.
Oh, he's loose. Great save there by Kevin. He's going to lose a lot of time, probably a whole second worth on the front straightaway here, but excellent save to keep that thing alive. Now here's Mr. Devin West looking on the inside of 44, Dennis Moore, and just like that, lead change. Dennis Moore finally falls out of it, and Devin West quickly passes a lot of trucks to move up back to where he was around lap 30 or so. And he's going to be setting sail for the next 30 laps before we see this race and our 2nd green flag pit stop as we just now hit the halfway mark in tonight's race.
Yeah, now we certainly have. There you see also King. Good solid run for him. Christopher White right behind him. As we already talked about, what kind of strategy he might be doing differently than maybe others, because he's already in the championship race, right? So
already in it. Just out here logging laps, having some fun, and learning some stuff. He's still 5th place. He's still doing great. His truck, for the most part, seems very stable out there. He just needs speed. He just needs to be 3 seconds out of the race leader. I said earlier that he doesn't need to win this race per se, but you need to find the speed as well to be able to compete in 3 weeks from tonight as we go next week to Indianapolis, and then it's like a Super Bowl off week where we take an extra week off before we get to the season finale in Chicago on November 3rd.
Yeah.
A ton of fun to watch that thing unfold. Can't wait for that. What a great venue. I just watched the truck race there not too long ago, and man, it was so much fun to call that race and to do it all over again for the bigger trophy. Lots of excitement.
Now there you see Dennis Moore up on the high side trying to catch Devin West again, as there's a lap down machine, multiple laps down. Teammate for West, John Odenbacher, up ahead.
Oh no, there's the first caution. No, yeah.
Oh, no.
89. Oh
Wow.
no, Christopher White. I don't know how much to ask of you, Mr. Charles, but if we can get on board of the 19 to see that was such a close call. Odenbacher going around. He's the onboard roll bar camera of John as he gets to turn 3 for his wreck. It's tagged hard in the left rear.
First yellow flag of the race, by the way.
He made a crucial error there. He slid up the track, and he's like, oh man. And he's going to change his fire suit after this one's done. Wow. First caution. Took just over halfway west to get here.
Yes, sir, it did. And we're finally under a yellow flag. Wow. Pit stops, they coming? I got a feeling they are. And obviously this will change the entire strategy of everything as these guys are on pit road. And everybody, and I do mean everybody, is coming down to the pit lane. We're going to take a break because we took one all night since we came on the air. Stay with us. We're at the second 100 miles. First yellow flag of the night. Back from Atlanta right after this.
Hi, welcome to Day Motorsports. Come on, check out what we got.
Thank you for keeping Day Motorsports in business for over 50 years.
What really sets On-Demand Shirts apart from everybody else is our people. Our people really care about every job that comes through here, and they treat it as their own. That paired with state-of-the-art equipment that we use on everything that we touch, that's really what ends up providing the top-notch quality that you guys come to.
Hey, it's Wesley Outland, the voice of the Northwest Racing iRacing series on LSRTV, and proudly again on the Community Radio Network. As always, we're excited for another season of the best iRacing Pacific drivers of the Northwest, putting on a show that you all enjoy every Monday night. Join us also on LSRTV or listen on the Community Radio Network at wearecrn.com. The power of radio to the imagination of the listener, iRacing style. CRN LSRTV for the Northwest Racing Series. Welcome back. Welcome back to virtual Atlanta. Pit stops have now been done. And Jeremy, we got a whole new ball game here now. Looks like we're getting ready to go back to green. Lap number 74. Yeah, lap 75 when they come to the line. Getting ready to come back to the restart, and it will be under 60 laps to go. 59 remaining as we come back to start. Here we go.
We just hit the 7th inning stretch, if you will, as we're 2/3 of the way done, 1/3 of the way left. This is exactly the 7th inning stretch. Everyone's got their snacks, their drinks, their bathroom break, and here we go. We're going to set off for the final 48 laps in this event as Ottenbacher leaving pit road after getting his damage finally repaired. And number 5 jumps out to a decent start over Kevin Smith. Kevin, though, not releasing the 5-1 bid. He's going to get a great launch off of turn 4. Does he go for the pass? He gets the nose to the inside. Here we go. The first couple laps, the inside works well. Can we see Kevin Smith lead a lap under green flag? He's going to slide the 5. Turn 2, new leader, Kevin Smith. Momentarily, he gets loose off of turn 2.
Sure did. Kevin Smith, by the way, one of those drivers, Jeremy, we talked about it, that obviously does not have a shot to advance to the championship for, but Kevin Smith looking for his first win of the year, and never count out the man in that double zero.
Oh, almost contact. 44 hits the wall, almost clips the 5's right rear. That was a big etch-a-sketch moment there. Kevin's going to break away a little bit as the 44 and the 5 figure out who wants to be second place momentarily. You know, Devin has a great long run set up. He might mess this thing up if he's fighting for second on the short run, as Kevin Smith is all over the back of the 5. Going to take off the error. Right rear of the spoiler can get that truck really loose. Able to hang on this time. 5 on the outside, 1 on the bottom. That's Christopher White, P4. Welcome to almost the top 3, and he gets there. What a pass there on the inside of Devin West. Christopher White in podium position.
Yeah, wow, what a job. So now White now putting himself right there in that 3rd spot where, and we talked about it, he's already in the championship round. But does he want to keep on winning? Once you win, Jeremy, you want to keep on winning? Want to stay on that winning momentum? He can do that.
We haven't seen a repeat winner all year. I touched that on the pre-race. I was looking through for any outlier, any fun stat to bring up. I saw that. I'm calling the league on Sundays. We've had 3 repeat winners in one season this in 2025. Then I come over to this one, and I'm like, there's not a single repeat. That's kind of bizarre how diverse the wins have been amongst these guys in the Northwest Racing Truck Series on Monday nights. And again, it's shaping up to be something similar to that, where we're going to see a different winner compared to last week. We just don't know who it's going to be. Right now, as Devin West slipped back to P5.
Can you believe that the Falcons came back and beat the Bills tonight, Jeremy? I know you're a football guy like I am. But,
I mean,
did you watch it?
I didn't watch it. I saw it, and I mean, that's not the first time they've done something like that. Just ask Tom Brady. It's Tom Brady one of those years. Falcons have done this, but I'm surprised. Yeah, I mean, you get to a certain number and you're just like, the game's thrown away. I'm going to turn this thing off, and then you get an alert on your phone. You're like, no way.
By the way, I don't want anybody to get mad at me. The only reason that I'm referring to the Atlanta Falcons is because, pardon the pun, we're at Atlanta Motor Speedway tonight, okay? That's why I'm kind of I have a little free pass for that, Jeremy, right?
Don't worry about the fan base there, Wes. It is just football talk. I don't care if they're sensitive to anybody, not their team. It is okay to talk about the Falcons regardless of situations. You could be over there in Portland, Oregon, watching the road course race and talking about Atlanta. I am perfectly okay. Yeah, I'm talking about the Cowgirls, yeah. Charles Woodward. Shots fired. We're calling teams by their names, and Charles over here.
He lives in Cowboys country, okay? Yeah. Like the Texans? like, who? Them? No, I don't like them either. No, I don't. I will
like
tell
you
you this.
start every
There
single
is an
team.
there is an awesome documentary on Netflix about the Cowboys. And I'm not a Cowboys fan, but one day I found myself just relaxing, not doing anything during the day, and I did cut on Dallas America's Team on the Netflix, and it's got the whole story of how they all started. It's actually quite interesting. I think it's an 8-part series. The original Texas team was the Houston Oilers starting team. No, that was not. You sure? No, Houston Oilers, I know was very, back in the day.
We're doing it live.
Well, the first ever NFL team in Texas was the Dallas Texans in 1952. No, you're wrong. It's actually now the Baltimore Colts. The Dallas Texans were not in the NFL. They were an AFL team. It's not, I'm not arguing with you.
He said, Charles Wooden says whatever.
The AFL is not the NFL, okay? The AFL is not the NFL.
Wesley.
Do you know what the AFL is? That's the Arena Football League, Charles. Oh. Oh. Oh, here we go. We're going to hear it. I can't give you that answer right now. See, they're talking about playing each other. We got to get back on the subject, guys. Oh, you got to love it. I'm loving it.
Like a fast food burger time.
What do you think, Jeremy? I mean, do you agree? You think?
I'm just here to enjoy the moment. That's my response to that. I don't know those answers, so I'm not going to chime in. It's just not. It would be right for me. But I am seeing this race is picked up. Like, you remember how it was like 30 laps?
To answer your question, no. The Kansas City Chiefs are not based out of Texas, but they were originally founded in Dallas as the Dallas Texans in 1960. The team moved to Kansas City, Missouri in '63 to be renamed the Swifties. You catch the end of that, Jeremy?
You guys are all right. Absolutely having a ball here. Apple Siri is no good. You just set up a shortcut to answer it with Google and you're fine there. It'll save you a lot of heartache, Charles.
What is it called? ChatGPT? really? I didn't know that. It's that's good. Welcome back, BJ Duvall.
Look at that.
We're heading to lap 100. This race, by the way, Jeremy, going by very quickly. One caution flag only in this race, and now finally things starting to heat up now between Newton and King. Brightsman, West, and all this going on the back straightaway right now.
You know, Sam, it took about 20 to 30 laps for them to really stack it up on that first run, and here we are at it once more, doing the same thing. Just that mid-race run is just very eventful, it looks like. A bunch of these drivers, their setups are very similar in the middle of the run. And we'll space out a little bit. So we're still right up on that outside lane. That's where I prefer to run at Atlanta. Very fun to do. Very technical. That wall is not symmetrical all the way through. It has like a wavy motion to it. Turn 3 and 4 is a little easier. That second group seems to be a good launching point off the corner if you can nail it just right. Tyler King did not execute that time. Brightsman almost exactly nose to nose. Put the 21 into turn number 1. This is a battle for 6th and 7th place. At this moment, still hanging on, 2 by 2.
2 by 2? Yes, sir. Staying in position, if you will. As laps are winding down here for this one. All the while, Dennis Moore still up in front. If he wins this race, by the way, Jeremy, it will be win number 7 of the year for Dennis Moore. That'll put himself in the championship round with Christopher White. Will that happen?
We'll find out. Dennis Moore, full advantage of the race lead right now. I figured he'd be locked in on points, but he's going to try to do it on a win. And Christopher White now trying to spoil some things for these guys, running P4 himself. Paul Newton, ever since his loss of the race lead, or second place, rather, he's just been struggling to get inside the top 5. Brightsman slipped back a few spots. There's been a couple of flip-flops along the way. They're your top 2, by the way, both up 5 positions. Moore started 5th, now in 1st. Devin West started 6th, now in 2nd. Look at these 2 guys, 2 seconds ahead of everybody else as they're battling right now for that race lead. Here we go.
Money stop, no doubt. This is money stop time for Devin West. Here he comes.
First one down pit road. This should give him the slight advantage. We'll see how this works. Dennis Moore had the shortcut pit stop the first time. Now he's taking the back half approach as the 5 gives it up first. We'll see how this works for Mr. Devin West. Here's the 44 down pit road. Excellent stop right at the speed limit at the line. That's properly executed and very efficient. As long as he nailed the stoppage at his crew, so give him the greatest chance of staying ahead of the number 5.
Dennis Moore in, along with Devin West. Would you have it any other way? Those guys pretty much nip-tuck with one another for the title. By the way, under 30 laps to, or 35 to go. Here comes now Brightsman and Newton side by side. There goes Dennis Moore back on track. But remember, Jeremy, you got to stay on the bottom of the apron, just like in real racing. There's that blend line there. You see a little glimpse of it, the blue cone. Once you hit that blue cone, then you can pull up into the racing groove. If you do it early, you will get busted with a penalty.
And it is difficult at Atlanta. The surface is so old, it's so slippery and bumpy. It's very easy to just to lapse of judgment and slide up and barely touch that white line, and then boom, you're tagged for the unsafe pit exit. Here's Brightsman on pit road alongside the 7 of Brett Johnson. 4th and 5th place at the service of their crew right now. And that's it for this lap sequence here, lap 104. Kevin Smith, Christopher White, your race leaders. And here's the 5 who's on the pit stop. You're going to pass these guys like they're sitting still with that 2-second advantage. Threads the needle over the 19, crosses over, 0, in and out, just like a burger joint as well. And we go back to the race, or the lead lap for the 5. And there's the 44. There's the difference of that 1 lap of pit stops. It's about 2 seconds or so.
Anybody got anything for Kevin Smith? There you see him, Dennis Moore now getting back on the lead lap. That's how good his truck is. Remember, these other guys, they're going to have to come back down to the pit lane. When they do, this puts driver's seat opportunity for men like West and Moore. Oh, by the way, if you're keeping track, 5 trucks on the lead lap. Unbelievable, Jeremy, as we approach under, 28 to go at the line.
Yeah, a little bit shorter stint compared to the first or second one, so this is going to be fun to see how they press the issue a little bit more out of these trucks before they get to the checkered flag. Make sure these things are well spent. Kevin Smith still leading with Christopher White. You see him on your screen, P1, P2 right now. Cannot make it to the end. When do they pit? That is the question. They probably got another 10 laps before we're definitely going to see him on pit road. Maybe they're hoping and praying for a caution. That'd be the best case scenario for these two at this time, because the 5 and the 44, they have 5-6 laps or so of tire wear, and so if they get a caution, they can reset right behind them and have the fresher set. That'd be perfect. It's just we don't know, the very few and far between on these recent cautions throughout the weeks. And there's the 44. He's actually caught the 5 a lot. Did you see that gap there? It's under a half a second now. And we watched him pass the race leaders, what was it, like a 2-second gap? So quick closing into the 44.
Yeah, sure did. Unbelievable. Let's see what goes on now. So Kevin Smith, Christopher White, Paul Newton, they all pitted on lap 73 when that caution came out. And now they're stretching here. Looking down Dennis Moore, and they got Devin West. Yeah, it's West. 4th and 5th.
Isn't it amazing how much 1 lap of tire wear difference makes? Go from 2 seconds
crazy,
to like that. Now Devin's much faster on the long run, so I wouldn't count him out just yet. But just to catch him that quick was kind of impressive. Quick work of the 5, and now he's got the 2 truck length advantage. Well, more like 1 at the moment. Now it goes to 2 quickly in the turn 3 and 4, just like that. Leaving the 5 sit still. We'll find out here as we're getting right next to 20 laps to go. Is the 5 playing possum, or is he he's struggling to catch that 44 down?
All this happening now as they work their way again off turn 4. There is Moore and West only fitting. They're right there with one another. It's like they literally follow everything with one another on the racetrack, leading laps. The first part of the race, we saw Devin West up in front. Then we saw Dennis Moore lead. Kevin Smith up in the top spot now. And Jeremy, I got to ask you this question. Do you think they can stretch it to the finish? Is that what Smith and White and Newton are doing here?
No, they're hoping for a caution. That would be over 50 laps, right? They went green flag. They last pit on lap 73. That's 50 laps, 60 laps. 60. There's no way. I don't think that's possible. And if it is, it's going to blow my mind to run that much fuel at Atlanta. That much tires, especially. You're pitting for tires more than fuel. But I guess if you're taking it easy, see the gap. We'll continue to monitor that. We got Dennis Moore. He's probably should be leading this thing right now. He's got a 17-second gap between the race leader. And I don't know. I guess if you lift enough and commit to it early, could be a chance. I just don't see it happening.
Interesting. By the way, 20 laps to go. 19 to go at the line. Kevin Smith in front. My question is, do you think we'll see a caution? Will we see a yellow? Could it happen, Jerry? Everybody's strung out.
They've already gained 3 seconds since we talked about it 2 or 3 laps prior, so it's about a second a lap. The tire wear will plateau a little bit. 13 to go, 14 seconds roughly on the track. If they can make it on fuel, based on the current saving strategy, it'll be very close. I don't see it happening, but you never know. I've been surprised plenty of times. And they can see the numbers in front of them. I mean, they're so close and they haven't pitted, so they know they're not going to win it on speed. They're not going to win it on natural strategy. So risking it, I love it. And Christopher White, that makes sense, right? 19, he's already won. He doesn't care. He's just doing it for fun. Kevin Smith, though, if it works for him, he's going to steal his way himself into the round of 4 for the final championship race round.
Trying to punch that ticket to make it happen. Remember, now you got Christopher White, like literally right there within striking distance of Kevin Smith. We talked about Christopher White being one of those guys that ain't got nothing to lose, right? He's already punched himself into the finale for Chicagoland in 3 weeks. And now, sitting in second, right there behind Kevin Smith as they work their way in turn 3. By the way, I've got a track map on my SDK for my telemetry for our audience watching. I don't know if you can see it, but there's literally trucks scattered all around the racetrack, Jeremy. Like, there's no, I mean, this is the battles right here. Devin West, Dennis Moore, right here going on for 4th and 5th, and obviously Kevin Smith and Christopher White for the win. That's where it's at.
That is indeed where it's at there. These two, if the other guys have to pit, they're 12 seconds at 15 laps to go. Great shot of the pace truck sitting on pit road. That man over here eating a sandwich. A little update on the driver of the pace truck, but I'm looking at the times, there's still 2.5 or 3 difference between the lap time, or sorry, the laps to go rather, versus the distance from the race leader. 11.7 to 14 to go. So they're still tracking to make it, I think, at this time. Actually, 11.8. They actually slowed down that time. The 5 at Devin West lost a little speed on the entrance side of things. But look at that. It just gets right to the front stretch, and within that stretch right there, that little period, he gained almost a full second. You guys are running
But Jeremy,
they should have ran out.
That's what I'm thinking. I mean, are we? Here they come. There they go.
Oh no!
Wow. Smith and White almost get together and collide, entering the pit lane. You were right. They couldn't go to the distance. This opens the door now to Newton as the leader. Oh, and by the way, Paul Newton is one of the drivers in the championship 8. But he can't make it. He pitted at lap 73. Unless he rolls the dice, Jeremy.
Can he do it, Ken? The double zero and the... They couldn't. In the 19, they could not do it. And then with 12 laps to go. So they clearly were just waiting on a caution period. Is the 27? Could he sneak this one in? Let's say if he doesn't make it and he has to pit, he's going to fall back there with the 19 and double zero, which is 9th and 10th place. There he is. He's coming to the right. I didn't think so. They pushed it so close. I thought maybe, but originally I said no. That is indeed the case. Race leader now is going to be that Devin West truck who saved the tires for the long run. Back around the 44. And now can Dennis figure something out?
Unbelievable. Look at Devin West now in the lead. Now Devin West, Dennis Moore, they can go the distance. They both pitted on lap 100 and 101. Tyler King, lap 102. Sean Brightsman, lap 103, but they're about 3 to 5 seconds from these leaders. You want to talk about the battles all year has come down to the 5 of the 44. Another chapter of racing is going on now between these guys for the win. And if West or Moore can win, Jeremy, they punch their ticket into the championship round.
Yeah, they got a decent chance to do it on points alone, but this win to seal it in is going to feel good going to Indianapolis next week. There goes Dennis up into the marbles. Hang on to it. Slid up a little bit on entry, but he's going to get it all back on exit. So he runs down the 5 into turn 3, going to be 7 to go at the line. Oh, the 5 had to go high because of Paul Newton on the inside. It looked like it checked up Devin a little bit. Recovers well in the center of the corner, thankfully. The 44 is slightly faster. Can Dennis find something? Oh, lane block. Goes Devin West up to the top lane where the 44 runs. He's going to take the air off the nose. And look at it, slowed up Dennis just a little bit. Now he's 2 truck lengths back. He's got to figure it out as Devin's blocking the aerodynamic advantage to the 44.
Doing exactly what needs to happen down the stretch with 7 laps to go. Will lap traffic be a factor for the race? For the leaders up ahead, there is a truck down at the bottom of the apron. There, of course, is Devin West and Dennis Moore. And how about it? It's Kevin Smith, the Win Racing double zero, who pitted just a moment ago. But I got a feeling, Jeremy, I don't think that he'll be a factor because he's got new tires and fuel. I think they won't run him down. 5 to go here now in Atlanta.
It's just going to be these 2 drivers right here. Dennis is just a little bit faster. He's going to have to go to the bottom. He's going to have to search. Devin's taking the top lane. Doing what he can to keep that lead and to punch his ticket into the final race. So We'll see. Here's a little bit difference in lane. Can the 44 take advantage of this? No is the answer. He gets a little bit of a run. Not too much this time. Does he go to the bottom finally? Nope, just too confident on the top.
Here he comes. Getting closer. Watch this now to the stripe, 4 to go. That's 6 miles remaining. And the chapter closing on this one tonight. The winner of this race, whether it's the 5 or the 44, are going in to the final at Chicagoland. What will Indianapolis entail next week? As they work through 3 and 4, Jeremy Stanley, it is Devin West in front this time by 2 to go at the line.
Dennis does not look like he has anything for the 5. Runs a little bit lower this time. This is what I wanted to see. Can this benefit Dennis? And the answer is no. Just cannot get the speed there. It's going to take a mistake from the 5. If we see a lead swap one more time, going to come up to the CRN. 1 to go as the exit turn number 4 for the second to final time.
Working out 4 into the dog leg. White flag. CRN 1 to go. All the details at wearecrn.com and the final lap here in Atlanta. Leading into the penultimate race of the season, down to the final 2 races of the year in season 12. Back straightaway. Devin West continues to hit his marks, and the ARCA champion will now claim the most wins of anybody in the series now with 7. Devin West also punches his ticket in to the championship round in Chicagoland here tonight in Atlanta. Devin West wins here at the end of 200 miles.
Great battle by 2 of the strongest competitors in this field all year round. And it's fitting to come to the very end of the season and seeing the best of the best still duking out for P1, P2 here. 5 and 19 have claimed their spots. Indianapolis next week will claim the 3rd and final by victory and then +1 on points. But right now the 5 is going to celebrate this victory here. One of the most important ones, as he's guaranteed a championship chance.
Yeah, what a phenomenal job. I mean, don't take anything away. I don't want to take anything away from, Dennis Moore, because I'll be honest with you, when it tallies up, okay, he might not win, but he's been consistent. He's going to go in. Paul, I really believe Dennis Moore is going to go to the battle at Phoenix. It's going to have to take something catastrophic, if you will, Jeremy, because of the amazing season that the 5 and the 44 have had to not put Dennis Moore in that final round. I still think there's going to be one more spot up for grabs, but I do believe that I think we're going to see the 44 for Win Racing, Dennis Moore, running for a championship.
Yeah, based on points, he's going to have like a almost 10-point advantage over the next competitor. So he's all but locked in based on points. So it's going to take whoever wins plus Dennis, essentially, to complete the Chicagoland season finale, as the 5 got completely wrong driver there, as the 5 still sitting at the bottom after. Oh, there's Oddmark, who's going to complete him. Going to send him all the way from the front stretch to turn 2. Love that part of it.
Let the celebration begin, as that is our most exciting thing of the night, probably, the Northwest High Five salute. So there it is, the results tonight from Atlanta. Devin West has won. Dennis Moore finishes in second. And by the way, again, Devin West win number 7 this year. He was number 3 coming into the points. I think, obviously This win has him join Christopher White, probably getting the points lead back also overall. Dennis Moore again second. Tyler King third, consistent for the man to the number 4 spot. Then, of course, Sean Breitzman, Dan West Jr., top 5. Brett Johnson, Frank Harris, Christopher White, again, Paul Newton, Kevin Smith, top 10. First truck, though, Jeremy, a lap down.
Then John Nonbacher 11th, Dana Rogers 12th, Hutchinson 13th. Everybody else, they're all out. Early DNFs. It'll be Josh Childers in 14th, Troy Daggett 15th, Jeff Stabnow in 16th, who is in a must-win. James Vining in the 333. Corey Elkobar in 18th place rounds out tonight's third to last race of the 2025 season.
Well, Jeremy, as always, man, a pleasure, sir. I'll see you next week. Hey, by the way, if you're joining us, we are going to go to post-race interviews in just a matter of moments and grab our podium guys. But, man, your final take here tonight for Atlanta. Next week, penultimate race, final race in the round of 8 as well. Indianapolis, the world's greatest race course.
Great track here tonight. It was a lot of fun. Saw a little bit of everything. And now it's time to send these trucks to a rectangular track to see how that fares out. I don't think I've seen that combo in a little bit. So should be an oddball of a track. A lot of fun, lots of learning, and setting ourselves up for 3 weeks from tonight for the championship. And it's all going to be set up at Indianapolis.
What will it be like at Indy next week? We'll have it for sure on the, of course, LSRTV CRN networks. We're taking a break, or we're just stepping away for just a moment. Jeremy Stanley, as always, thank you. We are going to grab the podium and call it a night from virtual Atlanta. Devin West wins, 7th win of the year, most of anybody, and he punches his ticket in to the final round at Chicagoland. We talk to him next. Back here at Virtual Atlanta in the Northwest Racing Series, round of 8, race 2 done. Devin West joins us, and of course, as I mentioned, his 7th win this year. He goes now to the top of the number 1 spot, 10 points now over Christopher White, and he joins us now on the air, the ARCA champion as well. Devin, congratulations, man. Your take of the race tonight in Atlanta, you led early, kind of fell back. Then it was a battle between you and Dennis Moore again. Would you have it any other way but a fun night?
Yeah, it was always a fun night here at Atlanta, the old surface. I had a lot of fun. The last stint was pretty cool too. Just honestly, did not think it'd be that close, and so the whole time I was fighting for my life. So that was kind of fun. We just had, I don't know, we were for like a 2/10 a lap off on the short run, and so I knew in the last stint I needed to try to make it as long as I could, so I pitted on lap 100 to try to do that. Yeah, and I don't know, made for a pretty good race.
Well, man, I got to ask you this question. With this win, you are running for the championship finale in 2 weeks or 3 weeks at Chicagoland. Man, what does it mean to you to put yourself in this predicament, in this position fast, right? I mean, I know in the past there were times you literally had to hustle or try to make Hail Marys to go to the championship rounds or try to get a chance to even contend for a title. You've already won an ARCA championship or on the Thursday program already this year. What does it mean to go ahead and, with 2 races left before the end of the year, know you're going to be racing for a championship for the series?
I mean, it feels pretty good. Obviously, I think everybody would say it feels pretty good to win. I'm used to often, kind of like you said, win each round, just get through. I did missing races or just having bad luck or whatever the case may be. So this has been a lot less stressful. Being able to just kind of show up and know that I can just run for points. And when you can do that, kind of takes the pressure off and allows you to run for a win if the opportunity is there, right? So, no, I think it's just awesome. And to win the ARCA side was pretty dang cool. This one definitely would mean more just to the amount of effort and the time that goes into it. But yeah, I don't know. It's just so much fun to come out here.
Continuing to race with Dennis Moore. Do you feel like it's going to come down to the wire between you guys? Obviously, I know Christopher White's in the dogfight, but what's your take of just him hanging with you and you hanging with him? It seems like week in, week out.
Yeah, I mean, Dennis is going to be fast every single week, no matter where we go. Like I said, I thought after that first round, I thought I had a pretty dang good truck, and if I just could get a long run, I don't want to say drive away, but can I cover him off pretty well? And Dennis just drove his tail off and changed all that. And so that can happen at any race in any single week. So I think it'll obviously come down to me and him at some point. But I mean, Chris was fast all night. And whoever gets that 4th spot, I mean, I know we keep saying it, kind of broken record, but any of these guys can win and go out and have a great race at any point. So, and I think the championship is Chicagoland. And if I'm not mistaken, that track is a little drafty. So that could make it interesting.
And obviously, as you know, it is the longest race of the year, too. I mean, it's not a 200-miler. I think it's 250 or 275 miles for sure. So congratulations, man. Before I let you go, thank your sponsors.
Yeah, just shout out to Jeff. Jeff put a lot of work and time into this set, like every single week, and he kind of had a bad race tonight. So shout out to him. I know he's a little frustrated now, but hopefully he can come out next week at Indy. That's his track, so I'm sure he can go win. The rest of the team, LSRTV, John, Brett, Sean, Dad, always just a blast to come hang out. LSRTV up in the booth, you guys are always great. My sponsors, Effective Web Solutions, Motorsports Distributing, and Kenny's Custom Hardwood.
It is another win for Devin West. In 21 races, his 20th race counted. It is 7th win, 2 poles, 17 top 5s, 18 top 10s this year. By the way, he is in the championship round. And for overall stats, career win number 43 tonight to go on with his 218th career start, 133rd top 5 and 162nd top 10. That is the man out of Shelton, Washington, Devin West. Let's go to Dennis Moore. Dennis, I said this on the air, and I think I'm going to stand by it by looking at how the points have tallied. I believe, Dennis, that with the season you've had, it's going to take something catastrophic to remove you from a championship 4 run. I think you're in by virtue of the points, even going into Indy next week. I could be wrong, but I think you are. Your take of tonight here at Atlanta, and obviously just trying to get through tonight, going to Indy next week, and then seeing what you can do to win a championship, sir. Good run tonight for second.
Yeah, I appreciate it. The race was a lot of fun, like Devin said. I was really surprised he was able to hold on the bottom for the entire run, and then the last run right there, after we pit, I knew he was saving tire, but I can't beat him from behind, so I went out and tried to, pull away from him. He ended up passing me again. Then I think if he wouldn't have moved to the top in 1 and 2, I might have had a chance. But great race, super fun, saving tire. And then, the caution kind of threw a wrench into it, so that was kind of cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Indy. I'm going out there to win. I don't want to points my way into the championship, and I don't think I actually am in the championship yet based on points. So I definitely am going to try to win. Put a lot of work into the set. I love that track. I think I've won 2 races there, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I was going to say, man, obviously I know you're in the 3rd spot now in the 3-hole, but guys like who we talked to in a moment, Tyler King or Sean Brightsman, Dan West Jr., Paul Newton, I mean, any of these guys can possibly come in and try to spoil the party, no doubt about it. But, man, just can I ask you, what's it been like racing this year with Devin West and y'all just being as competitive as you have? And it seems like one night you're on the podium winning, the next night or the next week it's him. And obviously you guys have pretty much been the dominators of the Northwest trucks this year.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Devin's a super clean driver. So, our battles are tight, but we're staying off each other for the most part. And, Tyler is super fast too. Like next week he's won at Indy. So Tyler, Paul, Devin, Dan, Jeff, anybody can win next week. It should be a lot of fun and looking forward to it.
Man, before we let you go, thank your sponsors as always, Dennis. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, first off, since he's in here with us, I always forget to thank him, but Tyler has done a ton of paint work for us, and I really appreciate him. Bomb speed setup, Kevin and Ryan built the sets that I ran tonight, so I can't thank them enough. You guys, LSRTV, and then everybody in the Northwest Racing Series. I was shocked that we went green for so long. Track was super tough, super loose off of 2. I appreciate it, guys.
There you go. There's Dennis Moore, ladies and gentlemen. As I mentioned, out of 24 starts, 20 races counted. He's got 6 wins, 7 poles, 18 top 5s, 21 top 10s going into the season. Final race, penultimate race next week at Indianapolis. Let's grab now Tyler King. Tyler is no stranger to being a champion as well. He's won in 2022, I think it was, when he won the Northwest Truck Series title. Put himself in contention to try to do it again for obviously Beaver State Racing. Tyler, your take-up tonight, sir, and obviously consistently finishing on the podium there and doing what you need to do to also try to punch yourself into the championship finale at Chicagoland in 3 weeks.
Yeah, Wesley, it was a good run for us. We're a couple spots short of where we want to be, but overall it was a good night. Just missed out on the pole, so left a point out there, which was a bummer. It's like I thought for sure beating the Wind Racing fellers, I had a good shot of hanging on that thing, and then Josh comes out there and knocked me off, so that was a big bummer. Yeah, the race was great. Got to lead some laps. I feel like we're pretty fast. Had a hard time trying to balance, saving my tires or we're going quick, and I just kind of did my thing for most of the race, and then, was able to save just enough to hold Sean off there on his hard charge up on me at the end of the race, and gained a bunch of time on Devin and Dennis, and just kind of equalized there with about 10 to go, and just couldn't get any more. But we'll take third. Good points day, keeps us above the cut line for now. We got Indianapolis coming up, which I've won there before, but it was a fuel mileage race. Currently not very confident in what we got put together, but we'll go work real hard this week and hopefully put ourselves in a good spot to either get the win or point our way in if we can.
Tyler, is next week's race at Indy the desperate race? I mean, is that when we're going to see you and these other guys that are maybe on the outside looking in, hell, even Dennis Moore, try to, pull whatever kind of rabbit out of a hat you can, virtual magic, to try to get yourself a chance to go to Chicagoland? Or do you feel like the patience will be out the window too?
Well, it depends on who you're talking about, right? You got Jeff and Paul and maybe Dan. They kind of need to play their cards right, I think, in order to advance. They probably want to win, so they're going to be thinking strategy. I just need to do what we've been doing, the last handful of weeks. We finished 6th, 5th, 4th, third now. So if we just keep the trend going up, get a second place, and maybe a win in Chicago, we should be sitting pretty.
Well, buddy, before I let you
smile.
go, there you go, big smile. Yes, sir. Before I do let you go, give me your thank you, your sponsors, and we'll see what goes on in Indy next week, sir. Always a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, obviously, thanks to everybody who puts the league on. You guys at LSRTV put on a great broadcast. Definitely big thanks to my teammate Paul, racing all year with me. We got to go to the races in Las Vegas this past weekend and got to hang out, and he treated me very well, I'll tell you that. And
Boy, that was a hell of a hit for William Byron, wasn't it?
yeah, buddy, I mean, for me, if you take away all the bad things that happen, Ryan Blaney, my guy, cut a tire.
Yeah.
Chase Elliott, my guy, pit road penalty. Bubba Wallace, my guy, pit road penalty. And the guy I disliked the most, Denny Hamlin, winning. It was a great weekend. But the on-track action was pretty great. It's my first oval race in 20 years. Being marooned out here in Oregon, we usually only get down to Sonoma, but got down to Vegas and seeing what the hype is about those 1.5 milers is a great show.
I'll tell you what, next year you'll be a lot more happier. They're bringing out back that 750 800 horsepower engine of the Cup Series, so that'll be cool to watch. Ladies and gentlemen, Tyler King, he's number 4, by the way, in the points right now with 2 wins, 13 top 5s, and now 20 top 10s. And you heard his thoughts, as well as these other guys on the outside looking in, going to do whatever they can to be able to join Christopher White and now Devin West, who are the next 2 drivers that have punched themselves into Chicagoland to battle for the championship. Indianapolis, the world's greatest race course at the racing capital of the world on iRacing next Monday night. Don't forget about the Leadfoot Racing League iRacing Late Model Tour Sunday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern on LSRTV as well. I believe we're going to Martinsville Speedway. We'll be at the Paperclip at Martinsville this Sunday night. And, of course, next Monday, we will do it again. The final race in the round of 8, the penultimate race of the season, and 4 drivers after next Monday night will be decided to fight for the championship finale at Chicagoland. For everybody at the Northwest Racing Series and LSRTV CRN, for Jeff Stabnow, Charles Wooten, Mr. Jeremy Stanley in the booth, I am Wesley Outland. Congratulations again to Devin West. Punches his ticket in to fight for another title in 3 weeks at Chicago. We'll see you next week at Indy.